My mic is muted. Yeah. What's going on, Run It Back Nation? This is DJ Eastwood, Run It Back Philly, with my man, Greg Melly. And we're going to chill tonight, talk to you guys, talk to everyone about Sixers and Nets tomorrow. It's been a long time coming. This has been a date that has been talked about ever since the trade went down. A lot of intertwined stories, a lot of drama, more drama than Keeping Up with the Kardashians tomorrow night down in South Philly. First of all, this is brought to you by Manscaped.com. All right, this is Lawnmower 4.0. Skin safe technology, flashlight, clean yourself up, man. It's the best razor I've ever used. All right, and look what else we got, man. We got crop preserver, bro. That's pretty self-explanatory, okay? And we got crop reviver. Look, ball deodorant, bro. What are you guys doing out here? You don't got ball deodorant, man? What are you doing? You stink. Manscaped.com. Use the code NOINTRO for 20% off and free shipping. Thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring. Let's get into it. What's up, Greg?
What's up? Long time.
Long time, man. Long time. Lot to talk about. So you've had a couple videos since. By the way, if you guys aren't subscribed to Greg Melly's YouTube channel, he passed 1,000. He's at 1.1, I think, so right now. My man's grinding every day, pumping out the content. The link is in the description. If you're not subscribed to Greg Melly's YouTube channel, go do that. You've had a couple videos that I didn't get to watch. First of all, what do you think about tomorrow night, man?
Dude, it's time to file some grievances, man. I'm excited. Oh my, dude, I am excited. I mean, this is the moment we've all been waiting for, and I can't believe he's actually going to show up. Like, hell yeah, man. And then Barstool Philly puts up an Instagram photo saying, like, we can't wait. And he puts it in the comment section and says, likewise. All of a sudden, this man is ready to come back to Philadelphia. I love how he's all talk because he's not even going to play. I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. I hope we don't throw anything. That's my one thing. If anybody's going to go to the game, don't make us look bad. Just boo the living daylights out of this dude. Make him go home crying verbally. Let's keep it verbal.
Yeah, that's pretty much what has to happen. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a general warning to the fans. I don't know, right at the gate or something. Like, hey, listen, here's your admission. Don't throw anything, or you're getting banned from the arena forever. I hope nobody does that. That'd be pretty stupid. I don't know why people ever do that.
Tribute video? What do you think?
That's not possible. There's no way that's possible. I mean,
what about for Seth and Andre?
What's that?
What about for Seth and Andre?
Yeah, but then you can't. I feel like you can't do that one if you don't do a Ben one, right?
Yeah.
Like, I understand. Here's the thing. I understand the thought process of it from, like, we drafted him and he did a lot for this franchise, as at least his first couple of years when we still thought he had the potential to be something great. But it ended so badly. I don't know. No, it wouldn't go over well at all.
No,
the
not at all.
Arena hates the guy.
Unless we go, like, super ironic and it's like, thanks for James Harden or something. And just like the ultimate troll. Like, just imagine. But no, there's no shot Philly does that either. There's no shot.
Yeah, no shot. Especially if the organization wants to keep the fans as calm as possible. Playing a tribute video would be the opposite of that.
Oh my God.
I mean, the fans would just be irate.
Yeah.
It's such a unique situation.
I think it's the only of its kind ever. I think there's no situation like this that I can name of. The tickets by the Nets bench are like $5,000 too.
I was going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if the entire section behind the bench was, like, blocked off or something.
Yeah. There's going to be crazy security, dude.
Do you really want Philly fans sitting, like, 2 rows behind him?
Oh, man. I mean, I could sit two rows behind him because, like, I'm not, like, this super loud, annoying fan at games. I kind of just, like, watch the game of basketball, but I can't trust Philly fans 7 beers in behind Ben Simmons. I mean, one of those beer bottles. I mean, I don't even want to get into it. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's going to be good TV. I think the ratings are going to be really good too. Is it on ESPN?
That I don't know. If they were smart, it would be. I would imagine it's on ESPN or TNT. What's Thursday night TNT? Yeah, it's probably on TNT. And the broadcast is going to hype it up, and they're going to show him and talk about him, and they're going to show. It's It's such a weird situation.
Weird. There's some like prop bets online that I saw. It was like do commentators say the word Ben Simmons over or under 6.5 times? I think that's an easy over. Easy over. Not including halftime and post game and commercial break. Like during the game, do they say his name 6.5 times? I'm
Oh,
going over.
easily.
I'm going way over. There's like how many times are they going to pan to Ben Simmons on the bench? There's just like a bunch of weird Ben Simmons.
That one's probably like 20 plus.
Yeah, yeah.
Panning
And
to him on the bench has got to be 20 plus.
I can't wait, dude. I hope like what I really expect, like I really want is like us to cheer for Seth Curry and Andre Drummond so much, but then whenever Ben Simmons is like I want constant F Ben Simmons chants like all night long. Just like
That's the
real
thing.
bad.
People were on the radio talking about chants that we should do, and they're saying like "thank you for Harden," and they're saying other things, and I'm like, do you understand what city you're talking about? This
Yeah.
is not going to be nice.
It's not going to
TNT
be
is gonna
positive chants.
no,
No.
and it's going to be so loud. You're going to be able to hear it clearly on TV. It's going to be great.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing. Like, you would imagine 70% of the stands are going to be screaming F Ben Simmons. Like, they're going to have to go mute the
Yeah,
whole time.
yeah. Like,
It
what are
would
the
be
rules
weird.
on that? You know, for a TNT broadcast, like, there's definitely times where, like, in an NFL game, you hear people chant like "fuck you, refs" or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, it's just gonna be so loud and so clear, I can just picture it. It's gonna be like, this is Philly, man. They're not gonna say nice things. It's gonna be the F Ben Simmons chant, very loud. They're gonna have to delay the broadcast by 10 seconds or something.
Yeah, right? Like, literally. Like, that's exactly what they're going to have to do. Or they're just going to have, like, it's just like mute. Just a straight up mute game. Volume 0. We need to win this, though, because it's going to be ugly if we come out flat.
Yeah,
Too-
the thing about Sixers versus Nets is that, like, I mean, obviously the Nets have been struggling with not having everybody back, but anytime they get most of their players back, it's like, okay, they still have two guys that can drop 50 at any point, like you saw last night. Kyrie Irving just doesn't even really care that much about basketball and drops the most efficient 50-point game in NBA history
Dude, he had a
last night.
101% true shooting. 101. I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't even know you could do better than 100%.
Yeah, that kind of speaks to how funny advanced stats are in the first place, but
Right?
101% true shooting percentage. I don't even know what that means. Do you know what that means?
No idea. I have no idea what true shooting is.
I just thought true shooting percentage was your field goal percentage plus your free throw percentage, like combined.
I think it takes in difficulty of shot and like I don't even want to pretend like I know. I'm gonna Google it right now.
Yeah, Google it because um, yeah, Kyrie's an interesting character, man. Just he's so he's leading such a charge. Like I said, anybody that hasn't been to Kyrie Irving's website, just go to his website. He's literally using his all of his NBA money to do great things, but he's still in the NBA. That's the thing, and he doesn't care about the NBA in real time. I don't know, whatever. Live your life, but it's just funny to me that he's that good that he can just come back whenever the hell he wants and drop 50. It doesn't even make sense, really.
So do you want to know what true shooting is?
Yeah, let's hear it.
True shooting, bear with me, is points divided by 2 times field goal attempts plus 0.44 times free throw attempts. All of that times 2 and then points divided by that. So I don't even want to pretend like that made it simpler. It's like a ridiculous equation. That's what I'm trying to say.
Who comes up with these?
Nerds. Denver Nuggets fans. That's who comes up with it.
Swipe, but we love you.
We do.
But seriously, knock it off.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty common one, true shooting percentage. There's even ones that are crazier, like Vorp and Raptor and things like that.
Raptor's my favorite. Like, come on, bro.
There's a drop the equation in the Discord. Nice.
That's exactly what I was just doing. I was just about to send this to chat to you.
That's funny. Drop the equation in the Discord. There's a LeBron stat too, which I never knew was a thing. But anytime somebody shows one of those trade machines, it always says like LeBron +3 and
Yeah.
LeBron -1, and I'm like, what the hell does this mean? It's just the weirdest thing ever. I broke it down one time, and I just don't know.
Not even worth getting into.
So James Harden versus the Nets. Do you think that matters at all?
I think he's gonna come out and like want to play good basketball, but I only think that's because it's just like it's a big time game. I don't really think Harden's the type of guy who gets caught up in narratives at all. I also really don't think he like it really wasn't that big of a deal in Brooklyn. Like I feel like he was barely there. Like I
Yeah,
feel like he was just like a
true.
short little stint. He kind of beefed with Kyrie a little bit, but mostly everybody that's ever played with Kyrie does. So it's not just like a him thing. I don't know.
Yeah, and just Kevin Durant and those guys really even like they're all saying the same thing. Everybody's interviewing them, trying to get them to say something, and they're all just like, it's just a basketball game, guys. We're just playing basketball."
Yeah.
Like
It's going to be a
that's
playoff environment though. I mean, it's sure going to be loud and it's going to be a good game just based off of the energy in the building.
I think I didn't look at the spread either. Are we the favorite team?
I would imagine so. Let me look.
I would imagine so too because yeah, you bring Kevin Durant,
Minus
Kyrie
five and
Irving,
a half.
that's cool. We're favored by 5.
5.5, yeah.
Yeah, because the Nets, when you really think about it, who's going to guard Joel Embiid? And they couldn't stop Joel Embiid before we had James Harden spreading the floor for him. So,
Right.
now it's really hard for anyone to stop him. Andre Drummond, he can't guard Embiid. That guy will foul out in 2 quarters.
Even in Drummond's prime, the dude couldn't guard Embiid. Now he's just a shell of his former self. He won't be able to do a single thing on Joel. Plus, Joel like loves going up against dudes that he either has played with in the past or doesn't like. So he's gonna go crazy against Andre. Plus, he wants to destroy Ben Simmons. I mean, like, dude, we don't need any more motivation to win this game and go out and put up career highs. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Philly kind of comes out and it's just like an offensive, insane game for both teams because I think Harden's going to want to score. He's going to want to play good basketball, but I think Embiid's going to just, like really dominate, dude. Like, I really think he's going to put up a 40-pointer.
Yeah, that's the thing about Embiid, man. Like, he really hates Ben Simmons for legitimate reasons. And he's not the kind of guy that's ever going to really express it, but it's like over the course of this whole past season, there's been a couple times where he's finally hit the brink of things and said things like,
Yeah.
I don't care about that, man. I straight up said it. Uh, and they haven't talked. The thing that's weird to me is like Ben Simmons answered the thing in the press conference about they were like, "Have you spoken to Joel?" And he's like, "I have not." And I'm like,
Crazy.
imagine hating Joel Embiid.
Crazy, dude. Like I don't get any of it. I don't get any of it because originally Simmons was like, it's not the fans. It has nothing to do with the fans. And now he's going to be filing a grievance after tomorrow. He's preemptively thinking about filing something that's going to happen in the future. So like clearly he's pissed off at the fans and he's nervous. And the only reason he's going and Clutch wants him to go is just to make money and prove his case a little bit more. But like that's crazy. But then also to not want to play with Embiid and to say that Embiid is not the guy who like just doesn't fit well with him. And they never tried to fit well with Simmons when we know the
Yeah.
opposite. And for him to not say anything to Embiid, like to not even owe him an apology, not even to just be like, yo, what's up, dude? Like, sorry about the last couple of months over a text. It's like when you're breaking up with a girl, you can do it in person like a man, or you can just shoot her out a text. He didn't even shoot him out a text. The dude didn't even be like, yo, my bad, Joe.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, it's
Joel's the one.
crazy.
Joel's the one that tried to adapt his game for years because Ben wouldn't shoot the damn ball. Like
And
he
it's
was
made him
doing
better.
everything he could to try to accommodate this guy, and he ended up hating him. He's like, "Bro, why you hate me? I tried to change my game for 3 years because you wouldn't shoot the damn ball. Like I
It's
should
crazy.
hate you."
It's made him a better player, though. I mean, like, at the end of the day, dude, I think this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to Sixers basketball because if Simmons didn't sit out, he would still be on this team, and we would still pretend like that duo is going to work, and we're going to still pretend and lie to ourselves about three-pointers generated and stupid shit that doesn't make any sense to basketball. So, like, we got James Harden, you know what I mean? So, like, I'm
Oh yeah,
grateful for Ben Simmons and the time he spent here and the fact that he did probably the wussiest move I've ever seen an athlete ever make. because it landed us James Harden. And it also, in the meantime, forced Embiid to become more of like a perimeter player. Like it made him more of a complete player to play alongside somebody with so many inefficiencies that Embiid is now an MVP because of it, you know?
That's true. Yeah, it's a really good point, man. Would Embiid have? And Embiid could shoot, from the beginning. Like there was videos of him shooting threes before he ever overcame that original like foot injury, before he ever debuted in the NBA. But would he have? He probably wouldn't have practiced being such a perimeter player if he hadn't played with a guy that forced him to try to be a perimeter player.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And with Simmons sitting out, it gave Maxey the opportunity to play because you know damn well Doc Rivers is going to give him 12 minutes a night, just like he does with every other person who's his age. But instead, Maxey has to put up 30 minutes a night, and he's a most improved candidate. And Tyrese Maxey is ninth in the NBA right now in 3-point percentage. That is
Wow.
unreal. Unreal.
Yeah, and
It's
Harden's
crazy.
impact on him, Harden's impact on Matisse Thybulle, Harden's impact on Embiid. It's just it's crazy how so far he looks like the absolute most perfect fit you could have possibly imagined for everybody on this team.
Yeah. That's why I was so on board for the trade before it happened. I was like, dude, let's put the greatest half court guard of my lifetime, besides Chris Paul, probably, alongside a half court dominant big man. It's going to work out. Oh, Embiid can't play the pick and roll. Oh, no. What's he going to do? It's Joel Embiid. He's learned how to do everything and some. I think learning how to roll on a pick and roll with James Harden is not going to be the most difficult thing he's got to learn. So, I
Yeah,
mean, dude,
and the times that we've seen it, it's been beautiful. Like
yeah,
Harden's just such a master in the pick and roll. He just drops it as soon as you step over. He just drops it off, and Embiid's so just athletic for his size that he's actually a perfect roll man. Like what? He's
yeah.
actually a perfect roll man because he can move with how big he is.
It's unreal,
Yeah.
dude.
I remember when people were saying that like rolling to the basket is some kind of like just natural skill that you have to have, and you can't if you're not a roll man, like you're born a roll man. This is a game. It's not an actual part of your DNA. You just roll to the basket. That's all you
It's
do.
arguably one of the easiest things to do in the NBA. Like
Even
it's
Matisse Thybulle's learning how to do it. You just roll to
bro,
the basket.
Matisse. I was just about to say that Matisse is really nice at that. He's really, really nice at the pick and roll with Harden. He's been
I was
killing it,
out.
dude.
I was in my living room screaming at the top of my lungs at the end of that game. Uh, they ran a pick and roll at half court, and like they're guarding James Harden at half court, and Matisse sets a screen on the logo. Like this is how lethal this guy is. We're setting picks at half court, and he drops it. He drops it down to him like way outside the 3-point line. Like that was the most extended pick and roll I've ever seen, and Matisse took off from like almost the foul line.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't think he dribbled on that dunk. I think he just picked it up and just slammed.
Yeah, and Harden told him to do that. That's an awesome thing too, because the play in the first quarter he had the same type of play, and he tried to do this little up and over layup and missed it. And Harden was like, "Bro, you can jump over everyone."
Yeah. I was gonna say he probably held Harden from getting like 18 assists, 17 assists that game. Dude, Harden had 14 assists. Like that's just imagine if Tobias Harris or like other people could just make shots a little bit better. Harden would be a walking 20 assist guy per night. Like it's crazy. It's so crazy the amount of like hate I've seen lately on Twitter. Like people trying to knock the Sixers and knock Harden. I'm like, dude, there's literally nothing you can say. There's nothing you can say. They're like, oh, he went 5 of 15. I'm like, yeah, with 14 assists and 8
Yeah,
rebounds, dude. And he's been playing great defense. So,
and not just like Ben used to get the assists, and a lot of them were because he would dribble the ball down the floor super quick and then turn around and pass it back to somebody, and it almost felt to me like I just hated watching it. I hated his style of play. I hated watching it. I didn't care how many assists he got, and really like he didn't really get that many for never shooting the ball.
no. I mean, like, he really didn't. I mean, Harden gets more than him for his whole career. Ben Simmons has never put up assist numbers the way Harden does, but Harden's also hitting step back threes and carrying the second unit when he's the only guy in there and giving us 25 points a night. Like, dude, they're not even comparable players. Ben Simmons is like a top 50 guy. James Harden is a top 12 guy, top 13 guy.
Yeah, he really is. In 5 games, he's averaging 24.2 points, 12.2 assists, and 7 rebounds. I mean, it's ridiculous. He's
It's crazy.
averaging 12 assists. I mean, he averaged 10.1 with Brooklyn. So,
Yeah.
and he didn't really have a consistent pick and roll option with Brooklyn. Now he has Embiid. Crazy.
He also has the ball in his hands a lot more, which is, I think, better for us and better for Harden. So
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's impressive though how he came onto the team and he's just such a point guard by nature, like his mindset. He wanted to feed Embiid right when he got here. He's like, you guys keep talking about I'm a ball dominant guard that's going to take shots away from him. I'm here to give him the ball. That's why I'm here.
yeah, I mean, he's very aware that Embiid, not only is it his city, but he's arguably the best man on the planet right now at the game of basketball. So it's like it was post game after last game. He was like Embiid. He's like Joel he was cooking. Like the idea was get Joel the ball. Like it's easy when Joel has 40 points in a game because you just give him the ball and you let him do his thing. And I'm like, you stay out of his way. I'm like, yeah, dude. Harden's not a guy who's going to be battling his own teammates for shots. Like that's not like Simmons. You would never see Ben Simmons say that for one and do anything other than try and get his own shot or try to do his own thing. Like the way Ben Simmons played basketball was so hard to watch. Like it was so hard to watch.
Yep.
And I love that I don't have to have my point guard run to the free throw line, jump, and then midair pass it out and either turn the ball over or get a lucky open shot. Like it's crazy how ugly Ben Simmons made the game of basketball look.
Seriously, everything was a struggle. Everything looked like a big struggle. Like, okay, it worked, I guess. Yeah, it was not. And it was
And
just
Harden's consistent. Like you know what you're going to get from James Harden. Last night probably his worst game that he's had because he went 5 of 15 from the field. He didn't really shoot the ball well, but he had 14 assists and 8 rebounds, and he still had big time buckets when we needed them too. Like Ben Simmons was the most inconsistent player I've ever seen. Like how can you go from scoring 42 points against the Jazz and the next 2 weeks you're giving us like 12? Like what, dude?
Well, what do you really think he's going to do in Brooklyn? Because I think the him trying to fit alongside two perimeter creators is actually worse than him trying to fit alongside a dominant big man. He thinks Joel Embiid was the issue, like he doesn't fit his play style. But I think like all you had to do was shoot the ball, and you would have had the ball in your hands on the perimeter the whole game. Like, what does he do without the ball?
Yeah.
He gives the ball to Kyrie now. Kyrie's going to dribble the shot. What's Ben do without the ball? Nothing.
Dude, it's like two sides for me. I think one side, I think it's the best position that Ben could be in because there's the least amount of pressure on him. It's the second fiddle team in New York. He's going to be able to play with two of the greatest scorers of the last 25 years, and he gets to run roll man a lot. But then the other half of me is like, I don't know what that team's going to look like because he's not going to be the starting center. So what are they going to have Drummond out there? And then you have Andre Drummond and Ben Simmons. Like your spacing is going to be awful, like truly awful. And also like I've never seen Simmons willingly be off ball for like the majority of every single game, day in and day out. Like we saw it in Philly with Jimmy Butler just during the playoffs. And he literally was like, hey, get this dude out of Philadelphia. I don't want to play with him anymore. So I can't imagine what it's going to be like with two guys who are going to be taking turns ISO ball, and Simmons will never be the one to have the ball in the half court. Like Draymond Green role, perfect for him, but I don't think his ego is ever going to be letting him do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting, man. Even Draymond Green shoots the ball when he has to. Also,
Yeah, yeah, he's way better.
crazy. If Glenn plays Korkmaz tomorrow, Kyle Wright says, I wouldn't be shocked, honestly, because again, like Doc Rivers gives me such Brett Brown vibes. I say this all the time. He's a better coach than Brett Brown. Obviously, he knows the game better, X's and O's. But when it comes to stubbornness and doing the opposite of what everyone thinks he should do, and also like right when something looks like it's working, he'll turn it around and and stop doing it right when you least expect it. So it wouldn't shock me totally. But what do you think about Furkan finally being a DNP
Thank
last
God.
game?
Yeah. I've been waiting for 3.5 years for that. I've been waiting forever. Literally my second, maybe third least favorite player of all time. And I'm just like, he's not good. He's shooting like 20 something percent from three. Isaiah Joe is a significantly better player than him. give all of his minutes to Isaiah. Shake Milton's been good lately. There's no reason that we play Korkmaz at all anymore. At all.
Exactly.
I loved it.
That's what I was saying for such a long time. I'm like, when you just break it down, what is he doing better than anybody else that's not playing? Nothing.
Nothing.
So what? I'll never understand what it was with Doc Rivers that made him say, "Okay, Harden's out, Furkan's starting at shooting guard or point guard, whatever it was." Like,
dude,
what made him say that?
It was right after people were like, "Oh, I don't think Furkan's going to play anymore. Like Furkan's going to lose all his minutes." And it was right after he was like, "Yeah, Isaiah's going to get a couple more minutes." We're like, "All right, sweet. Isaiah Joe might take off Furkan's minutes." Harden DMP, and he starts Furkan Korkmaz. I couldn't believe it, dude. I literally couldn't believe it.
And he was worse than I could have imagined in that game. Since the All-Star break, he's shooting 10% from three.
Yes, he has a negative true shooting since we love true shooting so much.
Negative.
He's awful. He has like a -20 consistent plus minus on a nightly basis.
What do you think happened to Furkan? You know, like he had potential. You know, even we re-signed him when we were going to let him walk in free agency.
He is. Dude, I couldn't even tell you.
I don't get it. He lost his shot completely. It's totally gone.
He's really like in his own head. He's super hesitant. He's like, and he's not ever that guy. He's always the dude who's like a quick trigger dude, like a quick trigger shooter. And so I thought, maybe best case scenario, he's going to be decent alongside Harden because he's a guy who takes quick shots and he has a quick trigger. But he is so in his head and so inconsistent. And now it's come to the point where, like, ever since that third week of the year when he was like the man, I don't think he's made 2 shots in a game.
Yeah, I don't think he has either.
He's awful. I can't watch him anymore.
All right. I'm going to put a poll in the chat right now because I know you have a video on this and I didn't get to watch it, but I want to get your opinion on. So first of all, Andrew Bogut is an inside source now for the NBA. Didn't know that. But he claims that Bradley Beal wants to come to Philadelphia. And I just said on Twitter, like, if Daryl Morey could somehow get rid of Tobias Harris' contract and get Bradley Beal in there on this team, would you do it? Some say yes, some say no. Well, what do you think? Because it was a 12-minute video, so I know you got some opinions on it.
Do you want me to answer it now, or do you want me to wait until this poll?
I'm trying to think of like how to ask it.
Is Bradley Beal a good fit for the Sixers next year?
Sixers pursue Bradley Beal in the offseason. There it is. It's in the chat. I think that's the first poll I've ever done on YouTube, by the way. I don't see it on the StreamYard chat, but I guess it's in there.
Yeah.
It's on my YouTube side. Yeah, go ahead. Give your thoughts on it.
No. I'm not a fan of it. I will pass on the whole Bradley Beal situation because for like 38 different reasons, it makes no sense. Hear me out, chat. Before the Sixers get Harden, hell yeah. I am all on board for trading for Bradley Beal because that's a poor man's James Harden, and that's perfect. We need a guard, center, pick and roll type deal, but absolutely not right now because if you're going to think about it, there's no shot we would ever trade Tyrese Maxey for Bradley Beal. If we're not going to do it for James Harden, we're not going to do it for Bradley Beal. So you can immediately take that off the table. Matisse Thybulle, again, same thing with Harden. If Morey was so hesitant to put Matisse Thybulle in a deal for James Harden, he's not doing it for Bradley Beal. So those 2 guys are staying. So inevitably, a sign and trade, it's easier to get guys, right? We would trade maybe future picks if we would have anything available. I don't really know what we do. Tobias Harris and whatever else. But it doesn't make any sense because you would start Embiid, Harden, and Bradley Beal for sure. Then Tyrese Maxey probably would start, right? I mean, you would imagine he would start, or maybe he comes off the bench, and then Matisse Thybulle would have to play like the 4. And Matisse is one of the better perimeter defenders who loves to run around and cause havoc. That's what he's really good at. But he can't play interior defense. He would get chewed up alive by John Collinses or by bigger, like against the Cavs, against teams who have like good power forwards, Matisse would get murdered. Matisse would not be even able to play the perimeter defense like he should. What the Sixers should do with Tobias Harris is trade him for 3 and D wings, whether that's Harrison Barnes, who was a top 15 3-point shooter this year, or other just, oversized small forwards or just regular small forwards who can shoot the 3 ball, catch and shoot, and they don't need to have the ball to create their own shot. Like they can just, run around the 3-point line and take shots. I love Bradley Beal, but it doesn't make any sense for so many different reasons. It doesn't make any sense in Philadelphia.
I get you. I get you on that. I do get you on that. My thing is, if like the way I'm looking at it is like somebody brought up a good example of Tyler Hero coming off the bench in Miami, and he has the most shot attempts he has the most field goal attempts on the team. I just think, what do you think it would be overpowered at the same time? Because I'm looking at it at a real basic standpoint. Like Tyrese Maxey is better than anyone that's coming off of our bench. Obviously, Bradley Beal's better than anyone that's coming off of our bench. I don't think you would bring Bradley Beal off the bench, but I think having Maxey coming off the bench, I mean, you would have elite scorers on the floor all 48 minutes, and I think it would be overpowering for NBA teams.
I agree, but then if you look at Tyrese Maxey, he's probably inevitably going to sign a max contract in Philadelphia, the way he is right now. And if
That's
it's
true.
not a max, it's going to be damn close. So then you look Embiid, Bradley Beal, James Harden, and Tyrese Maxey are all max contracts. You better be 150% sure that's going to fit, because if it doesn't, we're going right back to the same problem that we did with Al Horford. Don't get me wrong, Bradley Beal is nowhere near the same player as Al Horford is, even in that stage of their career. Bradley Beal's 28. He is an absolute elite scorer, but he just had the worst season of his career, and it's a gamble. Like, it's a serious gamble. And to pay that guy $220 million, in which I just don't think he's worth it, because I love Bradley Beal, but he's more of a tier B guy that
Yeah, I
is
agree.
he's even worse defensively than Harden. And I know Harden's been good lately, but when Harden, say next year or 2 years down the line, gets back to Harden defense, Bradley Beal is somehow going to be worse than that, dude. And like, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work, man.
Yeah, the money aspect, when you throw that in there also, yeah, because he's gonna get top tier money, and you're right, he's really just a bucket. He really reminds me of like a Lou Williams on steroids or something like that. Like he's really
Yeah,
just a straight scorer. Um, and who knows? I mean, I don't know what he's gonna do in Washington. I don't know what they're doing. They seem
and
to
to
think
these
that Kristaps Porzingis is gonna stay on the floor for the first time in his career.
who knows? And to these two comments real quick. The one says it's not a gamble because Beal is proven. Bradley Beal hasn't proved a single thing in his NBA career. If you ask any Wizards fans, who I'm very close with because I went to school near DC, a lot of them have always preferred John Wall to be the tier 1 guy over Bradley Beal, because Bradley Beal just wasn't a proven guy. And two, definitely did not compare Horford to Beal, but the situation is similar in Philadelphia. The players, as I actually said right after saying it, is they're nowhere near the same. But the situation of like, you better be 150% sure that that's going to fit, because Bradley Beal is an elite shot creator. So is James Harden. So is Joel Embiid. I don't want those two guys losing more shots. What we need is spot up 3-point shooters. What works in Golden
Yes.
State, what worked in Cleveland, what worked is in every championship team. It's depth. It's not a weirdly fitting big three that you're just hoping that it's going to fit and work itself out. Because Bradley Beal, I don't think he's going to want to be the guy who is just running around spot up 3-point shooting. He wants to be the dude at the end of the fourth quarter, and so does Embiid, and so
That's
does
true.
James Harden. So, I mean, I just don't like it, man. I don't like the fit.
That's true. And it would, if it would come down to the end of the fourth quarter, you wouldn't want Bradley Beal to be the one with the ball in his hands, and he would
Yeah,
want to be the one with the ball in his hands.
right, out of those other two dudes, like, no. Like, I don't. And Harden's going to be getting older, and he's an elite facilitator, and I don't think his game is going to drop off at all. But if you look at Harden, like, Harden didn't really like being that third guy in Brooklyn. And I don't want to put Harden in another situation where he's not going to be happy, because we know history shows itself what Harden becomes when he's not happy. I just think we need Harrison Barnes, or we need like 3 guys. If we could trade Tobias Harris and like a pick and whatever for 2 guys who are proven 3-and-D perimeter defenders who are energetic, like Mikal Bridges type of guys. I'm not saying Mikal Bridges, chat, before you go crazy, but players of that prototype, that's what the Sixers need, because that's what the Sixers are missing. They are Matisse Thybulle who can shoot threes. That's what we need.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what we need. You're right. Depth usually wins NBA championships. I know superstars win also, but at the same time, like when you look at the Golden State Warriors run, their bench could compete with most NBA teams at the time. And that's just how it is. So, when we look at our depth right now, doesn't make me smile by any means. It's Doc Rivers has to be very strategic in who he plays and when he plays them so that there's not a 5-man bench rotation on the floor. But I think if we would come up short this season, that would probably be the reason. And so that's probably the side that I would lean to. Like, somehow clear up that Tobias Harris contract and put all that money into role players,
I think
into bench guys.
I think it's almost a done deal that Tobias Harris won't be here next year, but it's going to be whether it's going to be Bradley Beal or just depth. And like, guys, would it be exciting to have Bradley Beal as the Sixers with James Harden and Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey? Of course, I would love it. I would love watching the games, but I just think when it comes to playoff run and chemistry and fit, which is so important, I don't know why we've all of a sudden forgot how important it is. I think it's important to have some depth that can come in and shoot threes and play defense. Look how much we love George Niang. Why do we love George Niang, guys? It's because that man comes in and plays his ass off and shoots threes and plays defense. Imagine 3 other dudes who are George Niang, but better because they are more athletic and they're younger. I just don't understand. Like, I don't know. I don't know why we have such an infatuation with bringing in Bradley Beal, because to me, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit for Tyrese Maxey, and it doesn't fit for Matisse Thybulle, and it doesn't fit really for Embiid and Harden. I mean, it could because they're stars, but at the end of the day, I'd rather take guys who are going to be much more willing to take back seats and do their role, because championship teams have guys 1 through 10 who all understand their role and all are very aware where they are at on the rotation, and they play basketball the way that they're expected to play basketball. With Bradley Beal, there's confusion. There's who's this guy? Who's the alpha? Who's that? I'm not there for it.
It's true. I completely agree. I think the fans just inherently want, we've been bad for so long. It's like we just have this craving to dominate the NBA. And I guess after Kevin Durant joined the already 73-9 Golden State Warriors, everybody knew right away they were going to win a championship. They were way too good. They had way too many good players on the same team. So I think it's probably something like that where it comes from. Like we have the potential to be great right now, but it's like people see Bradley Beal and they're like, oh my God, we would be totally unbeatable. We would be a 73-9 team. That's just the natural way of thinking about that when you have that many stars on the same team. So I see both sides really.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I think if I had to prefer, I would also prefer just higher level role players that fit, because you don't want to take the ball out of Harden's hands or Embiid's hands in crunch time.
Exactly. I also think it's foolish for people to consider this Sixers team as like that Warriors team. I mean, that team was insanely good before they had Kevin Durant. They were champions.
Mm-hmm.
They were the greatest team ever. Their fit was incredible. Everybody on that team understood their role. And then they went out and got KD, who was very unselfish for that team, man. He did exactly what they needed. Like he did everything that they needed. He was a defensive force in the playoffs. So to even consider that the Sixers are somewhere in that position, I just think it's very nearsighted, and we need to take a step back and realize the Sixers haven't won anything in my lifetime, and as much as I want them to win something, I don't think Bradley Beal is the X factor. What has he done in the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen? What has Bradley Beal done to you that you're like, oh, he's proven? Because before getting Harden, if we still had Ben Simmons right now, I'm all on board for getting Bradley Beal. I'm all on board for it. He's a shot-creating guard. But we have James Harden. He is a better version of Bradley Beal. We don't need Bradley Beal.
Facts. Spitting facts, man. So Kevin Durant had some comments, and I'm looking at it on the Liberty line right now. And I don't know if this was taken out of context or not. Basically, they quoted the title of this article says Kevin Durant says that Philly fans who plan on heckling Ben Simmons have shitty lives. Um, I don't actually think that's really what he said.
I don't either. I saw the quote, but it wasn't in order, so I felt a little iffy. So I was like, screw it.
Yeah, I mean they asked him about fans heckling in general, and then they basically took part of the quote and made up their own headline. I mean, he didn't say out loud Philly fans have shitty lives, but that's what they're trying to make it sound like, so you click on it. But he did say part of the experience of coming to an NBA game is to heckle. Some people don't even enjoy basketball. Their lives are so shitty, they get to just aim it at other people. Ben understands that. I mean, he did throw Ben in there. So maybe he was kind of a little bit talking about Philly fans.
I'm here for it, man. I also, real quick, want to say too that uh, the only reason Embiid wanted Bradley Beal, apparently, again, we have no idea if this is true, but apparently, the only reason that I think that Embiid wanted Bradley Beal was because we didn't think James Harden was going to be available. As soon as
Yeah,
Harden became
facts.
available, it was extremely obvious as to which player would be better.
Definitely. Definitely. Connor Murphy, thanks for the support. I love that he pointed this out because this is a matchup that I'm going to be eyeing on tomorrow because, the Nets fans that think they won the trade by getting Seth Curry because he has scored 26 points in the first game. With Harden drawing the attention of the defense and Embiid drawing the attention of the defense, if Seth Curry ends up on an island against Tyrese Maxey, he's going to be barbecue chicken the entire game. And they're going to see exactly why he's just Seth Curry. We were never that high on him because of that. Like, people are like, well, he was great in the playoffs. He scored 20 points per game in the playoffs. He carried your team in certain. We get that. But he's inconsistent and he can't guard my 6-year-old. And he definitely can't guard Tyrese Maxey. Maxey will fly right by him the whole game.
I love Tyrese Maxey, man. He's such an X factor for this team. The fact that we kept him, it's crazy. He's going to be such a big reason as to why the Sixers make a deep playoff run because maybe the best teams in the NBA can account for Harden and Embiid, maybe, but not a single team in the NBA can account for all three.
No, not at all. I really think we're going to get like a 50-point Tyrese Maxey game at some point. At some point, like maybe at some point in this season. Because he hasn't really had a game where he put up a lot of field goal attempts and shot a really high percentage yet. He has one game where he shot like 70% from the field. But I think we're gonna get a game that really puts him on the map. You know what I mean? Like people are kind of talking about him a little bit. ESPN throws his name in there when they mention our guys and stuff, but he hasn't had a game that made everybody say, "Holy shit, this dude has the potential to be a superstar, and he's the third option on this basketball team." I think we're going to get one of those games, seriously, in the near future.
Do you think we do it with Harden and Embiid on the court?
I think we do because I think Harden is pushing for him to be as great as he can be. And it would have to be one of those games where maybe we're playing a team with, good interior defense, Embiid's struggling, and Maxey's just getting wide open looks the whole game, something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
His career high was 39, but nobody really counted that game. That was basically a G League basketball game. That was against the Heat too, wasn't it? But
No,
that
it
was
was the Nuggets. The Nuggets.
Oh yeah, it was. That was a COVID game. We had 7 players. I think they had like 9 players. I mean,
Yeah, they had Jokic though, I think.
did they really?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't defend anybody.
No.
Only on the advanced stat sheets does he defend people.
Only his Raptor shows his defense, man. Oh man. Yeah, I think we're in for a big Tyrese game. It's crazy, man. It's crazy his 3-point percentage lately has been through the roof. I don't know if that's like sustainable. Probably not because he's been shooting like 60% from 3, but like
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
his shot is so improved. If you look at mechanically of his his form, it's so much better than it was last year. And what I really love that is really bright for me is like Embiid constantly talks about Maxey's work ethic. And I think that alone is such a key little insight to what he's going to be in the future because Maxey just has this absolute desire to be like and a goddamn stud. Like, and I really just think it's just the hours that he's putting in. And Harden is a really hard worker. We just have a bunch of guys who like really, really, really want to win. And I think this year is the best chance we've ever had. Even though it could be still like a trial run, I think this year is the best team and the best chance we've ever had.
Yeah, and Faust Out Loud says, what I love about Maxey is even if Embiid only lasts another 5 years, we still have a phenomenal player in Maxey. Exactly, man. Like Daryl Morey refusing to trade him was amazing because we didn't put all our eggs in one basket and say, okay, let's give up everything to try to win a championship right now. And then if we don't win it or something bad happens, we're screwed. We have this kid. He's gonna get maxed out. He's gonna be here for a long time.
Yeah. Which
It's
is
me.
which
I
is
mean,
awesome. Which is
yeah.
awesome. I mean, it's such a bright spot just to have like a guard that when's the last time the Sixers got lucky in a draft and a player slips to 21 because he's undersized and he can't shoot for shit. So the Sixers draft him and he becomes an absolute perimeter lethal weapon. I mean, this dude is an absolute weapon from 3, but at the same time, I've never seen anybody finish the way Tyrese Maxey finishes. It reminds me so
No,
much of like I don't want to say the name, but like Allen Iverson a little bit.
I said it last night. The flip shot that he had in the fourth quarter
Yes.
yesterday, like behind his head, getting fouled. That was so Allen Iverson. It was unbelievable. Like he
Yeah.
made so many shots like that, and he did that 3 or 4 times per game for 10 straight years. And Maxey's 21 years old. He's going to get so much better at things like that. He
When
could
Maxey
be an
gets
Allen Iverson level player.
when he gets stronger, it's game over because like he can probably finish at the rim even better once he gets a little stronger. Like it's crazy what Tyrese Maxey does, man. At his size, what he does. And Philadelphia, like just as a fan base, we love small guards. We love them because Allen Iverson, man. It's because AI. So just the fact that AI created this phenomenon in Philly, like the love that Tyrese Maxey gets from our fans, it's crazy. I want him to be here for the rest of our lives. I want him to be a forever player, man.
Oh, me too. And he's just so like humble and fun loving. The way he smiles at Joel Embiid, he looks like he just comes off as like a 13-year-old kid to me. That's probably just me being old, but he just
Nah,
looks like
dude.
a child to me. It's funny. He's like
Yeah.
smiling with such joy, and I'm like, you're done. You're scored 33 points in an NBA game. Like
Yeah.
he looks like he's playing at the park and just having a good time.
He's so happy to be there. And I just think it's such a big thing for team chemistry. Like there's so many guys I just think are so happy to be a part of this team. Even DeAndre Jordan. If we want to talk about DJ a little bit, I love it. I love the move, dude. I love the move.
So do I. I mean, all we were saying was, listen, like it was simple. People overcomplicate everything. People were so like, I couldn't believe the responses I was getting on Twitter when all I said was, did the Sixers sign on DeAndre Jordan? And people were responding like, sadly, yes. Unfortunately, yes. He's washed. He's washed. And I'm like, did you guys watch Paul Millsap? People were jumping over his head like they were playing leapfrog. The guy can't get off the floor. He can't get a rebound. You can't play him. He's unplayable. And I know Romp points out the good things about him. He has a decent jump shot or whatever, but what we need him to do, he can't do. And what Doc was trying to get him to do, he can't do. So Daryl was like, okay, I got to go get the only 7-footer available right now. Here he is. He's not what he used to be, but at the same time, he was only really that because of Chris Paul anyway.
Dude, all we
You know
need
what I mean?
DeAndre Jordan. Oh, dude, yeah. All we need the guy to do is just run up and down the court, catch rebounds, dunk the basketball, and play interior defense and give us a 0 plus minus. And what did he do in his first game, DJ? Gave us a 0
0.
plus minus. That's all we need. All we need,
Just
man.
be a 0 plus minus, man.
Yeah.
That's all you need. It's all you need.
Look at the
It's me
Greg
in life, man.
Monroe.
It's me in life. People are like, how's it going? How's your life going? I'm like, I'm a 0 plus minus.
Nice.
I'm not in the red.
Nice, dude. That's treading water right there.
I do just enough to get by. I'm a 0 plus minus, man.
Yeah.
What are you gonna
I
say?
mean, Greg Monroe was a minus 11 in 2 minutes in a playoff game. As long as DeAndre Jordan's at a minus 11 in 2 minutes, and I don't know. I don't know why people hated on him so much. I thought it was a great idea. I thought it was a great pick.
Really, he has a couple of highlights with the Lakers where he caught an alley-oop like over somebody's face and posterized them. And I'm like, he still has a little bit of that in him. It's just DeAndre Jordan's always been a guy that's just going to jump. He has to be in the right position. It's all about the point guard with him. If there's no point guard on the floor, if there's no creator for him, he can't do anything at all on the offensive side of the ball. But if there is one and they're setting him up in a pick and roll, he can still catch lobs too.
Plus, he's like 3 or 4 inches taller than Paul Millsap, so just naturally his arms are going to grab a rebound that Millsap wouldn't be able to before. I think it's a great pickup, and it doesn't. I mean, it gives us more flexibility at the 5. We can play Millsap if we genuinely want to. If it depending on matchups, like what we need in the playoffs, how playoff teams win, just have a bunch of different guys who can be platoon guys who just are all matchup dependent, matchup based. And I think having DeAndre Jordan in now gives us a much better team, a much better team. And I'm not one of the guys who thinks DeAndre Jordan is going to be like a stud. He's not, but he's going to be better than what we have.
I agree. Miravana, would you rather play the Nets in the first round before they figure shit out, or risk the possibility that they get on a grind and we meet them later? Yeah, I want to take them out round 1. I want to finish the 1 seed, and I want the Nets to be the 8 seed. I think that would be the most perfect situation I could possibly imagine. First of all, you get to force that fraud to come and play in Philadelphia. There's no escaping it at that point, because he's still escaping it. He's still like, yeah, I'll go sit on the bench, but tell him my back hurts. You know what I mean? And now the grievance thing, like I talked about it, it's unbelievable to me. It's the softest thing I've ever seen in my life. He's actually taking it a step further. Nobody's ever tried to sue an organization for their fans being mean. This is the softest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's insane. Who does that?
It's crazy.
So I can't wait to force him to come back.
The fact that he's filing it before it's happened is wild to me. I didn't even know you could do that.
Well, what they're filing is that it was a toxic work environment. That's why he wasn't coming to practice or playing in games, and so they shouldn't have been allowed to fine him. But it doesn't make sense, bro, because like, I mean, what's an arbitrator going to say? They're going to be like, all right, I would think, it's probably not in the contract or anything like that, but just unwritten knowledge. When you become an athlete, you're going to hear reactions from the fans in the stands. If you play really bad, they might boo you. You don't get to quit and still get paid because you suck. Doesn't make sense. He wants to get paid without playing basketball. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And Nets fans are getting like agitated lately too, because he hasn't even played for them yet. They don't even know what his injury is.
I put a poll on my Twitter today. Does Ben Simmons play basketball this year?
But why won't he? I don't understand. Kevin Durant came back from a meniscus sprain or whatever before this guy with no injury at all.
And KD also tore his Achilles a while back and came back from it. It's crazy, man. Ben Simmons is a unique person.
He pulled out every single stop he possibly could. I mean, first claiming the mental health was one of the lowest things I could think of, because he just contradicted himself so many times that that's not what mental health is. And then, that's what Mike Missinelli said it on the radio. It was perfect. He said, so the trade was Lexapro. You got traded and your mental health is gone. That's not how mental health works. And you're really insulting people across the globe that deal with mental health problems by saying that. But he doesn't care. He's that low. He's that shallow of a human being. He doesn't care at all. He said, I can use this to try to get paid without playing. All right, let's do that. But he didn't plan it out very well, because you're always going to trip over your own feet when you're trying to just randomly come up with bullshit excuses every 2 weeks. And then the press conference, he says it wasn't the fans. It had nothing to do with the organization. I just wasn't mentally right. But then you got traded and you went in that arena, so you were suddenly mentally right to go in that arena, but not this one. But it had nothing to do with the fans. It makes no sense.
It's crazy too, because I don't get it, because he dug himself in such a big hole. Like, this hole that he's in right now is insane. It's insane. I mean, I couldn't even imagine his mind state right now, because there's literally nothing he can do that people will ever like him again. Like, all he had to do was request a trade in the summer, not get traded, come out and play. And it's all avoidable. People will respect him. There's going to be way more Ben Simmons fans. There's going to be way more Sixers haters. It's going to be way more Ben Simmons sided. But the fact that he's doing what he's doing to this point, still, he's not playing. From a back injury, bro, what have you done? Where did you hurt your back? What could you have possibly done? You said over and over again how much you were training and working out and playing basketball in your own facilities with your own doctors, and all of a sudden there's a back injury. Like, there's no way this dude played basketball for the last 6 months.
Yeah, I don't get it. But He obviously has mental health problems. He's scared to fail, scared to shoot. That's not what mental health is. Being scared to shoot is not a mental health issue. Being scared to fail is a normal human nature type of thing.
Yeah.
Most people just, when you get to the NBA, they have a different level of confidence. They have a different level of drive, and they force themselves to overcome things like that. James Harden said the first game he played in Philly, he had jitters. This guy's been playing the game for 12 years, and it's naturally a thing to be nervous in front of people and be scared to fail or whatever. This guy's just super soft. He's ran away from an NBA team because he was scared. It's not mental health. He's just soft. He might be a sociopath, something like that. Definitely narcissist.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. He's definitely narcissistic.
But yeah, one seed, them 8 seed would be perfect in my eyes. I can't think of anything more perfect. I want to take them out right away.
I don't know. I still don't want to play KD and Kyrie. I get your point, but I'd rather play a litany of other teams before I play, the Brooklyn Nets.
Well, what's going on with the New York mandate?
I have no idea, but I don't think it's changing.
Yeah, I thought they were lifting it. I mean, if it doesn't change, the Nets are screwed.
They're so screwed. Oh, they're so screwed.
Because that'll be funny to watch too. Durant and Ben Simmons, like, I just think it's gonna be entertaining to me because they don't know yet how bad his problems really are on the court. They have no idea. Those fans don't know yet. They're lying to
Yeah.
themselves.
And the thing is, like, people were like, "Oh, Harden's only going to have 20 games to play with Embiid. They're never going to figure it out." Where the hell is Ben Simmons? Where is Ben? What is?
Game 1, they fit together so perfectly. It was like, oh, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. Now Harden's running the stairs after a game because he's not even in shape yet. He's averaging 24, 12, and 7. And he's like, all right, now I'm going to start doing some extra work, try to get in shape and take it to the next level. That's how good I am without trying.
It's crazy.
He said he didn't know the plays. He said, I'm just out here winging it. Who's out here winging it in the NBA?
Yo, I also think it's like poetic justice that we traded Ben Simmons for the third all-time three-point makes player in the NBA history. Just think that's beautiful.
Say that one more time.
We traded Ben Simmons for the man who is third all-time in three-pointers made. It's perfect. What's funnier than that? I said this like a week ago. Maybe this is too much, but I genuinely think if this goes in the direction that I think it's going to go, this may go down as the greatest trade fleece in the last 10 years since the Nets traded, everything and more for 45-year-old Kevin Garnett, 74-year-old Ray Allen, and 45-year-old Paul Pierce.
That franchise has been screwing itself since it's been a thing.
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. The last 3 big trades they've made have all been horrible. Like, so horrible. Tell me how you traded basically 6 first-round picks for James Harden, Jared Allen, and Karis LeVert for James Harden, and then trade James Harden for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, and Andre Drummond, and 2 protective first-round picks for Ben Simmons to maybe never play. Oh,
you know what it makes me think? It makes me think that it was people in the ownership group making those decisions, because those are the kinds of things that billionaire dudes who think they're playing 2K do with an NBA team. It like all of the Elton Brand, Brett Brown stuff. I think that had a lot to do with Josh Harris. Scott O'Neal 2 years later took his check and ran because he was like, "This ship is sinking. I'm fucking out of here," before they figure out that it was me. Like, these guys are like, "Yo, let's do this. Yeah, trade everything. It doesn't matter, man. We're gonna be so unstoppable if we get that guy." And they just trade everything. But like an experienced GM would have been like, "No, it doesn't make sense. What? You already have 2 ball dominant guards, and you're trading your whole future and your interior defense and part of your bench, and like what?"
It's bad.
That's what it is.
It was such a bad trade. And to even think that the Sixers lost this trade was crazy. But obviously no one's saying that anymore because, well, the Sixers haven't lost with Harden. Obviously that's not going to stay the same. They're inevitably going to lose a game. But we've scored over 120 points in every single game, DJ. I don't even care. We had 2 games all year over 120 points, and we've had 5 more since getting Harden. And Ben Simmons has literally no timetable to return to play basketball. Like, that is so ridiculous to me that it's going to go down on like one of the greatest trades ever. And the fact that the Sixers are on the good side of that, oh my God, dude. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild. Yeah, they're 5-0 with James Harden in the lineup. And one thing that I definitely feel right now is that when it comes down to towards the fourth quarter of a game and it's close, like the other night, it felt like a blowout the whole game, but we were only up by 7 at one point. But it never felt like we were going to lose. It never felt like, oh shit, we might lose this game. It's like we have James Harden controlling the ball in the half court. I don't feel like we're going to lose when we're up by 7. And we have Embiid on the floor and Tyrese Maxey and everyone.
I haven't thought we were going to lose one game yet. Not a single game.
If
At
we
no
do, it's
point
going to
was
be
I-
against somebody really, really good at full strength. You know, the Bucks, the Heat at full strength. Maybe we'll lose one. But as far as a playoff series goes, I think, honestly, we can compete with anybody right now in 7 games.
Dude, we're going to be the favorites in any series we play. I genuinely believe that. Do I think we're going to win every series? Like, easy? Of course not. It's the playoffs. It's a different animal, totally different. Coaching becomes much more important. You know, just genuine fit and experience is very important, obviously. But we should be the favorite in every series because we were going to have the 2 best players on the court at all times. It's crazy.
Y'all literally beat the same teams y'all hype about without Harden. Sizers fans are delusional.
If you know, you know. Yeah,
Here's
but
the thing.
it's my thing is
Yeah,
like,
go ahead.
no, go. It's all you.
The games that we did win, see, we're like Joel Embiid makes you good enough to beat anybody, no matter what. So the games that we did win, it was because Joel Embiid had to drop a 47 point, 15 rebound, 3 blocks, 4 assists. Like, he had to have the game of his life, and we win by the skin of our teeth against some of those better teams. Now it's like we are the clear favorite to win those games.
And the fact that I think it's so funny because if we lost any of these games, you know, this dude and every other hater would just be like, the Sixers suck. They can't beat the Knicks. So we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing. We're beating the teams we should be beating, but we're not just beating the 7-seeded Minnesota Timberwolves by 4. We're beating them by 31 points in the first game together. We're not just beating the Knicks by 6. We're beating them by 16 twice. Like, we're beating these teams handily. Very, very easy. Oh, the Bulls, they were the number 1 seed in the East for the good majority of the first half of the season, and we absolutely rolled them. I mean, yeah, we're not beating the top 5 teams in the NBA, but we're beating the teams we should be beating by a lot of points. I don't know how you can knock anybody for doing exactly what we should be doing. It took no time for this fit to work out. It's crazy, man. It's crazy how good Harden and Embiid are together. And they're not even as good as they should be because we don't run enough pick and rolls together yet. And we're not there yet. They're still figuring out the kinks.
It's only going to get better.
Yeah.
It's only going to get better. This is the best Sixers team of my lifetime right now. I couldn't be happier about it. It's unbelievable. DJ9, what's up, my man? I've been paying too much money to see Harden already. Yeah, the ticket prices went through the roof, man. Right when that went down, ticket prices went through the roof. But it's probably definitely worth it. I want to get down to one. I want to get down to a game at some point soon. If Ben was playing tomorrow, I would have been there. But once I found out he's going to be sitting on the bench, then I don't care that much to spend the money and drive there and all that stuff. Does Ben get a ring if we win it all? What were you going to say?
I think so, right? Isn't that how it goes? Since he was on the team? I don't know how it works.
Well, if he gets the ring, he's going to sell it to make up for some of that money that he lost. Take it to a pawn shop. Does he get one? Can't we void it or something?
There's got to be a way. Real quick though, I just want to point out the fact that I love the fact that the guy who's hating on you just subscribed to you.
Because I have this chat set to subscriber only. You have to subscribe even to hate, bro. You can't comment.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, You have to subscribe to be in the chat. So he's like, son of a bitch, I have to hit the subscribe button to tell this guy that he sucks.
Oh, this dude's the worst. I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna like the video. Oh man.
Oh man, I haven't looked at our schedule like past this Nets game. I want to see like what big games are coming up. Who do you think you're scared of in the Eastern Conference? Is Boston for real? That's the first question I want to. Is
Yes.
Boston for real? Because they stunk earlier in the year. I'm like, what the hell's happening?
They're for real, for real. They were finally buying into Ime Udoka's game plan, who I thought was an awesome coach, even when they were the worst. I think the pickup of Derek White is great. Daniel Tice too, man. Their team's really good. Their defense is really, really legit. Like, they're going to be a scary team in the Eastern Conference playoffs. They're good, man. They're good. I like them a lot. I don't want to play them in the first round. Teams I'm scared of, like Boston a little bit, just because history, and they're going to come in overconfident. But Milwaukee, I guess, maybe. And I'm not really as afraid of Milwaukee as I would be last year, because I think we match up with them pretty well. But the only reason I say Milwaukee is because they have Giannis, and Giannis is the only player in the entire NBA that is on the level of Joel Embiid. It's the only reason I say Milwaukee. Other than that, I'm not really afraid of anybody. Miami's really good, so maybe Miami, but nope, no one else.
All right, here we go. So we got Brooklyn tomorrow, Orlando, Denver on Monday on ESPN. Let's go. People were talking about that, and I forgot about it.
Yeah, we should sit Embiid for Orlando game. I really, really need that. I really need Embiid to not play that game on Sunday.
Just for him to be fully
Yeah,
dominant.
We need to give him some time off.
Yeah, he needs some time. They should have rested him in that Miami game. I don't understand that at all.
Me neither.
Especially if Harden's resting because of the hamstring thing. And I'm like, dude, like, it's not rocket science. That was a scheduled loss. We were going to get pummeled. Like, we shot 17% from three. We were tired. Like, it's not that complicated. Why was Embiid even out there? I think you should like to stick it to the schedule makers sometimes. You should be like, oh, yeah, you're going to give us a back-to-back Cleveland fly to Miami? Yeah, we're not playing. We're resting everybody. Actually, here's the blue coats. Have a nice, hope you get some ratings. We're putting the blue coats out there.
Yeah, Doc's like, you want to see Paul Reed and Bassey? All right, I'm going to start them both.
That's what should have happened.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Yeah, I don't want Embiid to play that game against Orlando, because I want him to just be super, super ready against Denver.
I actually get to post-game live every game but 2 for the rest of the season. That's exciting. Saturday is the only night that I'm unavailable right now, so I get most of them, man. I'm hyped for that.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe I'll bring on Swipe a Cam right before the Denver game, so he can tell us it's the Jokic era. Spit off all the advanced stats, and then watch him just move him off the block and dunk on him.
I had to reply to one of his tweets today. I was just like, buddy, dude, like, yeah, I love you, but like, come on now, because he had Embiid third on his MVP lists, and I was like, to have Jokic at number 1, okay. I was like, to have Jokic at number 1, I get it, I understand you, man, cool, whatever. But to have Embiid at 3, like, just stop it right now.
So what would we have to win out to? What would we have to do to finish in the 1 seed? Why isn't there standings on here? Home, stats, roster, injuries.
All right, I have them right here. So Miami lost tonight. We're only 2.5 games out of first. The way it's constructed right now is it goes Miami, Philly, Milwaukee, Chicago, Boston, Cleveland, Toronto, Brooklyn at the 8 seed, a game up of Atlanta at 9, and a game and a half up by Charlotte at 10.
Yeah, see, Brooklyn's in trouble. They're close to not even making the playoffs by the end of this season if they don't get some stuff together.
Yeah, they were like 1/2 in the East for like a good couple of first weeks, and now they're 33-33.
That's wild what that Kyrie Irving thing is doing to him.
Yeah,
and now trading Harden and not having Ben play yet is screwing him.
I couldn't imagine being a Nets fan, dude. It's terrible. They're 13-18 at home. That's the second worst home record in the entire Eastern Conference.
Speaking of Jokic, do you think he is the favorite to win the MVP, or do you think that's just Denver fans? Because I haven't seen any ESPN lately on like who they think the runaway MVP is. I feel like they say Joel Embiid all the time.
I think right
Still,
now it's a push. I think it's a push. I think they're both probably even. The last time I saw it was 3 days ago, and Embiid was still the favorite, but Jokic just put up back-to-back 40-point games, and Embiid had that game against Miami, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Jokic at number one. But I think it's like a 1 and 2 type of activity there.
someone just said in the chat that Denver's the 6th seed, and you can't win the MVP when your team's the 6th seed. Might be
That's
true.
true, man. That's true.
It might be true. They always say it has to be the best player on the best team. Or is it literally the most valuable player? That's the argument. That's always the argument, because obviously the Nuggets roster with the missing the guys that they're missing wouldn't even be in the playoff run at all without Jokic. So if you look at it like that, he should be up there. But for the whole, before we got Harden, the same thing with the Sixers. They were a lottery team without Joel Embiid carrying them every night.
And my thing is too, like the Nuggets' big argument last year was like Curry can't win it. Their team is like the 8th seed, the 9th seed. It doesn't make no way Curry can win it. Jokic has to win it. Like the record's better. Okay, so stay true to that, and therefore Embiid is the MVP, right? Like, isn't just that how the way it works? I don't get
Oh
it.
man,
I think it's a good point though. Whoever has the better game Monday is going to be the leader.
yeah, it's good. It's good. That's a good point. Yeah, it's going to be a nice game to watch, and I get to watch it on ESPN. I'm loving nationally televised games lately because, I actually get more. I hate listening to Allah more than Kate Scott, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is about. That guy's he's such a homer, and he educates me the whole time. The whole game, he's teaching me. You see right here, he stands up straight outside the arc. That's a legal charge right there. That's why when they teach you in 5th grade, shut up. I can't.
He's just
Bro,
not cool. He's just not a cool dude. Like I hate I don't hate both of them, but I dislike listening to both of them because Allah, I hate whatever he says, but Kate, I just can't stand her voice. So it's like a lose-lose. It's a
remember
lose-lose,
when
man.
remember when he said Ja Morant wasn't wearing basketball shoes?
No, when was
Did
that?
you
Was
see
that when
that?
we played Memphis? I don't remember
Dude,
that.
it was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He said, Ja Morant, he's like, and look at him, he's out there in running shoes. He's like, look at those shoes. Those are running shoes. Those aren't even basketball shoes. That's how just insanely whatever this guy is. And they zoom in on, they're literally Kevin Durant's. They're literally KD's. They have a big KD on the side. And he's like, and then a couple minutes later, he's like, all right, Twitter's telling me that those are basketball shoes. And like, what are you talking about?
Like, dude, you're
Why in the
sitting
world would Ja
courtside.
Morant have running shoes on?
She's like wearing regular Converses. Come on, dude. Yeah, I can't believe it. We lost Zoom off 1 year. Where I'm just like, I wish we had Mark Zumoff, man.
I know he should be reaping the benefits of this.
Sixers
He
only
sat
have
here.
one more win than the Nuggets. What's up?
He went through the whole process, every game, trying his best to make it sound interesting. Every game, you know what I mean? A Monday night watching Ish Smith and Luke Baamute and Nerlens Noel. The ratings were, there was probably 17 people watching the game. Mark Zumoff was there every single night, trying his best to make it sound interesting. And he retires 1 year before the process completes itself. The process as far as building a championship level team and finally having a team to be excited about. He retired a year right before that.
It's sad.
He should
It
come
hurts.
back. He should come back. He should be like, you know what? I was tired of calling games for a team that really wasn't going to win it, and I was tired of trying to sound excited for Ben Simmons. That's probably really what it is. He probably went home like, I can't. How long do I have to do this? How long do I have to sound excited about this guy who's out here doing this every night?
I,
He should come back.
I'm upset, man. I know how much he would like it. I know how much he would enjoy this team. It's tough.
and all of his years calling Allen Iverson games, and like even that team, you know, it was dominant because he was dominant. But we didn't have a team like this since '83. Since
Yeah.
Dr. J, Moses Malone, and Maurice Cheeks. Yeah, we need Zoom to come back, man. Zoom deserves a
There's
ring.
nothing
I agree. If
there
we win this season or next season, Zoom off gets a ring.
100%. He
Petition for
also
Zoom off
deserves
to
to
get
get
a
his
ring.
jersey retired. Retire that man's
Oh,
jersey.
absolutely.
There's nothing I want more in this world than Game 7 at home, finals game. Who's ringing the bell? Mark Zumoff, baby. Mark
Yes, with a
Zumoff ringing the
microphone.
bell.
With a
Yes.
microphone, and give us a couple like classic quotes.
Yeah. Oh man, dude. It would be electric.
RIP to take that Tyler Johnson. Yeah, I retired that a while ago, man. You
Take
know what that
that,
was?
Tyler Johnson.
Because when I still believed in Ben Simmons, he had this game where Tyler Johnson annoyed him, and I just could never stand Tyler Johnson. He looked like a little just weasel on the court. And he pissed him off, and Ben came down and just dunked on him so hard and screamed in his face and got a technical foul. And part of the reason was I was so happy to see that emotion and just like dog come out of Ben Simmons. I was like, there it is. That's the fire that you need. And that dude could be a superstar NBA player if he had that fire. But I saw it for a split second and I just went overboard and I clipped out the take that Tyler Johnson clip and all that. And then he inevitably let me down anyway because he doesn't have that fire unless somebody pisses him off, like really
Dude,
pisses him off, I guess.
it's the stupidest guys, Tyler Johnson and Jared Dudley. Is that what it takes, dude? It's really Tyler Johnson and Jared Dudley. Jesus Christmas.
When we signed Tyler Johnson that for like 10 days, I was like, yo, let's just get him to piss off Ben Simmons in practice. You know, maybe, or I don't even think Ben Simmons was playing at the time. That was this season, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was this year.
Yeah. Nope, no chance. No chance of bringing Ben.
I'll give it to
He
you.
wasn't coming back.
Tyler Johnson might have the most hateable face I've ever seen.
They call him Meth Curry. That's the best nickname for him. Somebody dropped that in the chat one day, man. I wish I would have remembered who it was. It's just a hilarious nickname.
That's incredible. I've never heard that, but that's amazing.
He's very.
He looks Amish.
You know what? He got overpaid like twice too. Like
Yeah,
he's
did.
made a shit ton of money in the NBA for being Tyler Johnson.
I want to look it up.
He's made a lot of money. I'm pretty sure the Miami Heat were the first ones to overpay him.
Dude, it was a 4-year, $50 million deal.
In Miami?
Yeah, in Miami.
Yeah, that's pretty overpaid for Tyler Johnson, man.
Unreal, dude. So bad.
Sixers fans better cheer for Ben Simmons during his tribute. Here's the thing, like, you know, there's people that have this opinion where, like, you know what? I hate when people say stuff like this. This is what they say. They say, and not this guy. I'm talking about Sixers fans say this. The ones that think this is possible in the first place. They say, you know what we should do, Philly? We should not feed into the national narrative that we're bad, mean fans. We should cheer for him when he comes in and show everyone that. But none of this saying that doesn't matter. Have you ever been there? You're not changing what they're gonna do. You're just saying things on the internet. We should do this and not. It doesn't matter because they're gonna boo the living hell out of him. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can say on the internet or on the sports radio or on here that's gonna stop that from happening. It is 100% happening. It's gonna be the loudest, most egregious, toxic boos you've ever heard in your life. There's no stopping it. So what is the point of this? And he's not getting a tribute video. There's no way that's happening.
I can't believe it. He's coming. What's the point of you? What's the point of you showing up if you're not going to play? Like he's really going to sit there. I hope somehow we like say his name over the PA system just once. One time. I hope that like they're like, and there's Ben Simmons. Like Celebrity Row, like Madison Square Garden has like this like Celebrity Row where they'll always show you like the stars that come to the game. I hope they do that with Ben Simmons and have him on the Jumbotron and let this place go absolutely crazy. I want that so bad.
You got Ben Simmons needs a bottle. Guys, I got the bottle and crib ready for Ben tomorrow. There's going to
I
be a
hope
lot
there's
of weirds.
some good posters. Some really some good posters, man. That's what we need.
There's definitely going to be some good posters. If there was a tribute video, it should just be Mark Zumoff, where he said, I'm pretty sure it was against the Knicks. Ben shoots one in the corner, and he's like, Ben Simmons for 3. He did it. He did it.
What about the Shanghai Sharks, man? That's the one we should put up.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
Or
Mark
Joel
Zumoff,
Embiid like hugging him.
the Mark Zumoff he did it thing was so funny to me because I'm like, that is so pathetic. But we were so happy at the time. We couldn't view ourselves from the outside, and look how dumb that was. We're cheering for an NBA player to shoot a wide open 3-pointer.
I love it. He got us James Harden, man. Beautiful. Thank you, Ben.
It is beautiful.
Thank you, Ben Simmons.
That's what we should. That's good merch right there. Thank you, Ben.
With a picture of James Harden.
Yes. That is great merch right there. Thank you, Ben, with a picture of James Harden. That might be the next one. Be on the lookout.
Oof, might have to cop that one.
Dude filed a lawsuit. He ain't getting no tribute video. Sixers are like, oh, you want to play that game?
Bet.
Most 3-pointers assisted in Sixers history. They might put that up there.
It's just like a video of everybody else shooting threes and making them. That'd be funny.
There's just nothing. There's just
so.
Nothing to put on a
Would you take Tobias Harris off the bench?
That's an interesting question because seriously, we can all agree. And people hate when I say this because I don't know why people hate when I say this. People take something out of context. When you say George Niang's a better fit than Tobias Harris with James Harden, Joel Embiid, people are like, he's not better than Tobias. Stop saying that. And I'm like, I didn't say that. It's not what I said. His style of play is clearly way better for the situation. But does Tobias or anybody benefit from him coming off the bench either?
I don't know. I brought it up in that video that I made about Bradley Beal, but I think Toby, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work out. It's not good. It's not a good fit for so many different reasons, like mentally, and he realizes he's not the guy, and he realizes he's the odd man out, and he realizes he's not going to be here next year. But I think a lot of it's on Doc, too. I mean, Tobias Harris played 37 minutes last game. Toby's like a 25 to 30-minute guy right now. And he can start and give us 25 minutes, whatever. But Niang needs more minutes too because just our team's better. Our team's better with George Niang and on the team with James Harden and Embiid than it is with Toby. Toby's a run stopper. He doesn't shoot threes. He doesn't shoot threes if his toes aren't exactly behind the line. And he's so hesitant and he's so awful to watch play. But at the same time, he's a substantially better player than George Niang. We both know that. So, I get starting him, but again, I am a big guy when it comes to fit, and Toby's fit is not good. It's not good.
Yeah, you gotta shoot threes, man. You gotta catch and shoot. James is setting you up. You're wide open, and you're pump faking. Niang will let it fly, man. If you give him 15 open threes, he's shooting 15 of them.
Right, and I don't think Tobias Harris is going to turn it around this year because he's not going to have that ample opportunity to be able to put up his shots to turn it around. He's just not going to have as much of an opportunity if his shot's not falling as he used to. He went 4 of 10 last game, and I just don't see him doing sure, he can go 6 of 11. And if that's turning around for you guys, then yeah, he'll turn it around. But I don't think he's going to be what he was before we got Harden at all. Just because he doesn't have any opportunity to do that.
Yeah, there's not enough time or last game he had a really strong finish and people think that that's something that's it's going to bring something out of him. He does that once in a while. Once in a while he gets really pissed off at not getting foul calls and then he finally just dunks on somebody. And we're like, if you just did that in the first place, you wouldn't be relying on a foul call.
Yeah. He did that in the first game against the Knicks too. He had 6-8 points in the fourth quarter. He had 2 threes in the last 2 minutes, but he's just not a guy who's good. He just doesn't fit with his team at all. And he's getting paid a ton of money. But at the same time, I don't think you can't bench him because of how much money he started. The Sixers were way better with Horford coming off the bench. It's kind of the same thing with Harris. He's just better suited not on the court with Harden and Embiid, especially Embiid, because he can't rebound for shit.
Do you think he would have an issue with that? Like, do you think he has some kind of ego where he'd be like, nah, you guys paid me money. I'm a big part of this team. I'm not coming off the bench.
100%. That's exactly what's stopping it from happening. His ego is way worse than I thought it was.
Yeah,
He's just
that's
so
tough.
unathletic, man. He's just so unathletic and he's so slow. We need guys who are athletic and can rebound and can shoot and are not hesitant. Everything that Tobias Harris is, we need somebody who is the polar opposite.
You're not wrong.
Doesn't make him a bad player.
How do you trade him?
Oh, it'll be easy. It's easy. It's
easy.
much easier to trade. That's why we didn't trade him this offseason. It's way easier to trade a player when he has 2 years left on the deal because, as Daryl Morey said, basically, paraphrasing, you can convince a team that it's basically an expiring deal because it's just one more year. What's just one more year, Like, look what he did without Horford. Horford is way worse. Like, his trade value was way lower than Tobias Harris's was, and we got Danny Green. So, I mean, decent. So, like,
we would have to throw in something though, right?
Yeah, we would throw in picks, but if it's a sign and trade, it doesn't take much to get players in a sign and trade. I mean, we traded Jimmy Butler for Josh Richardson straight up.
Yeah.
So like the whole Bradley Beal thing, like is Washington going to be jumping at the bit to trade him for Tobias Harris? No, but it's going to come down to where the player wants to go. If Bradley Beal wants to come to Philly, it's not really up to Washington. It's not really there. The ball's not in their court. It's like James Harden. Like it's much easier to trade a guy with 2 years left on a deal than 3. And I think it'll be easier getting rid of Tobias Harris than a lot of people think.
Yeah, I just can't picture somebody.
OKC
can't picture somebody wanting him for that money.
OKC, man, Sam Presti. You give Presti picks, he'll take whatever the hell you throw at him.
That's true. At what point does he start to flip those and make a big trade for a superstar or something?
Who knows?
You know what? Maybe Bradley Beal ends up in OKC. Unless he does have a no trade clause and it would be he probably does. Where
Maybe,
it would literally
man.
be his decision to waive the trade clause or he's not going to waive it because he's not going to go to OKC.
But if Presti's already like wondering if Shea Gilgeous-Alexander fits their timeline, I don't think trading for Bradley Beal is going to be an idea. And when it comes to OKC, man, I will throw you Tobias Harris and 3 first-round picks for the likes of like Lou Dortz and just a small forward, Aaron Wiggins maybe, because Lou Dort is a stud.
Dog.
He's
a dog, man.
Dude. He's a stud. He's a stud.
He's a dog.
Miles Bridges too, man. I love Miles Bridges, but Miles Bridges is way better than Tobias Harris.
Rick Scott has a prediction. Here's a bold prediction. Simmons bails and just raises ticket prices to screw over the fans. Imagine if something comes up. Breaking news. Ben Simmons has a family emergency and will not be attending. I wouldn't put it past him.
This year, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play this year at all.
I wouldn't put it. No. I mean to avoid coming to Philadelphia tomorrow at all.
Oh, I don't know. I think he's too dug in.
He did reply to Barstool Philly and said likewise, which is just the weirdest thing ever. Like likewise, what? You're not even playing.
Like you're not excited.
Likewise. Likewise. Like I can't come back there. I can't wait to come back there either. Like you're gonna show something. You're not playing.
It's a good point. Yeah, that's actually like a great point. Like what, dude? Get off your high horse. What the hell do you think you got here?
Likewise. I don't know. Well, I can't wait for him to play in Brooklyn though. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to watch that meltdown.
I can't wait. I hope he plays like 3 games before the season ends, and it's just like no time to fit, and they just suck. Easy 4-0.
Tobias is everything we already knew of Ben Simmons that'll shoot occasionally.
Yeah, it's just fit with Toby. I feel bad for Tobias Harris. He could be a good 4th option on a team, but it's not this team.
Yeah, I agree, man. He's excited to get evidence for his case. That's probably what it is.
100%.
All right, well, We've been up here for about an hour and a half. Thanks for coming through, Greg. Everybody subscribe to Greg Melly's YouTube channel. He's at 1.1K. You know what I mean? Help him keep growing. He's growing a community over there. He's pumping out videos every day. Love to see the grind. And thanks for coming on anytime.
Always,
You know
dude.
what I mean?
It's a pleasure.
And I just can't wait for tomorrow, man. Oh my God.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I definitely want to live stream it, and if you want to do something post game too, let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll probably have to do that. Probably have to do that.
It's gonna be beautiful. I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
The Nets come to South Philly and Ben Simmons walks in the arena. It's crazy. I can't even imagine it happening.
What's he gonna wear? What's he gonna wear, man? Is he gonna go showy? Is he gonna go? Maybe he's gonna wear like a Kanye mask. Maybe he just wears a Kanye mask so no one knows who he is.
The whole Kanye outfit just black from head to toe with a mask.
Like bedazzled mask that you can't see his face. Oh man, I'm here for it, dude. I'm here for it.
Camouflage. Maybe it'll be camouflage.
We should
All
get
right, guys,
like
hit the like button. Still 343 in the chat, man. Hit the like button. Thanks for coming through.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget, 20% off at manscaped.com. Use the code NOINTRO. Get yourself a lawnmower 4.0 with skin safe technology. Take care of that ball beard.
I need that.
Greg has a ball beard. He just dropped it live on the stream. Greg, come on, man.
It only took an hour and 35 minutes.
All right, later, guys. Thanks for coming through.
Peace.